Hi everyone, tonight on Margaret Radio, Health in Later Life, we take a gentle breath together and drift into something that touches so many lives, often quietly, and without warning. You're lying in bed, maybe with your favorite blanket tucked just right, and there's a faint breeze slipping through the curtains. Your body is calm, your eyes soft. Yet inside, your heart might be whispering a little more loudly than usual. It's high blood pressure. A phrase you've likely heard many times. But tonight, we're exploring why it so often tiptoes past notice, especially as the years go by. You don't feel a thing. Maybe you just feel a little tired, or a bit lightheaded when you stand up. But no pounding in your chest. No big red flags waving in front of you. That's the mystery and the challenge of high blood pressure in older adults. It doesn't always shout. Often, it doesn't even whisper. We're going to walk together through the reasons it sneaks by, how it weaves itself quietly into daily routines, and how you might come to recognize the gentle signs your body offers, long before anything feels urgent. This won't be a clinical lecture. No hard terms or scary charts. Just a gentle story, woven with facts and calming insight, to help you feel empowered, not alarmed. You know, there's a funny little moment many of us share. You check your blood pressure at the pharmacy kiosk, and when the numbers flash up, you tilt your head like you're reading hieroglyphics. Then you nod, as if you understand, even though part of you is thinking, that's either very good or very not good. I've done it too. You press the button again, hoping for a different result. It's okay. We're all learning together. Slowly, gently, at our own pace. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And if you feel like sharing a small piece of your world with me and the rest of our cozy corner, I'd love for you to post your current location and the time right now in the comments. It's always comforting to see who's listening from across the globe, whether it's twilight in Tokyo or a rainy afternoon in Yorkshire. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're sitting on your porch, perhaps. The air smells faintly of earth and grass. You sip something warm, not too strong, maybe chamomile or cinnamon. You glance at the trees, and something about the stillness reminds you how steady life can be. And yet, inside your body, things might not be quite so quiet. You feel fine, after all. Maybe a little slower to get out of bed, a bit of puffing after the stairs, but that's just age, right? The same way reading glasses sneak their way into your purse or on top of your head without your noticing, high blood pressure doesn't always announce itself. That's the curious thing. High blood pressure rarely hurts. It doesn't usually make you cry out or double over. It doesn't keep you from walking your dog or reading a novel in bed. It just settles in slowly, quietly, pressing its invisible weight on the inside of your vessels, over time. And the older you get, the easier it becomes to miss it. You chalk up the fatigue to a long week. You forget that your ankles looked a bit puffier yesterday. You assume that moment of blurred vision was just dry eyes. None of it feels like a big deal. But they can be tiny threads in a larger story, one that often goes untold until much later. And that's exactly why this matters. Because understanding your body, your aging, wise, quietly adapting body is the most powerful gift you can give yourself. Not to worry yourself, but to simply notice. To pause, listen, and gently ask, is this new? Is this me, or something else? Tonight, as you ease back and let your shoulders settle down, I'll walk with you through this story of high blood pressure, why it's often missed, what it quietly changes, and how you can stay in tune with the gentle rhythms of your own well-being. There's no rush. Just breathe in, hold it gently for a moment, and breathe out. Let's begin. Your heartbeat feels steady now. Soft, rhythmic, like a familiar lullaby keeping time with the slow sway of your breath. As you rest there, maybe tucked into a favorite chair or curled under a favorite quilt, your body continues its quiet work, circulating, nourishing, balancing. But sometimes, without any warning, something begins to shift. And you don't notice at first. Because high blood pressure isn't like a stubbed toe or a sore back. It's silent. Still. It builds in the background, gently, slowly, almost politely. And that's how it often begins, so quietly, it goes unnoticed. As you get older, your blood vessels naturally begin to stiffen a little. It's like the difference between a brand new garden hose and one that's been out in the sun a few seasons. Still useful, still strong, but not quite as flexible. That stiffness makes it harder for blood to move through your arteries smoothly. Your heart works a bit harder, and that effort raises the pressure inside those vessels. It's not your fault. It's not because you did something wrong. It's just the body adapting, changing, moving with time. A well-established health fact is this: high blood pressure, also called hypertension, is extremely common among older adults. In fact, more than half of people over 60 live with it. But many don't even know they have it. Because it often doesn't make itself known until a doctor happens to check it, or until a complication pops up. But it doesn't need to wait until then. Knowing the causes can help you gently tune in sooner. Sometimes, it's simply genetics. Maybe your mother had it. Or your grandfather. Maybe they didn't talk about it much. In older generations, health wasn't always openly discussed. People carried on, quietly, stoically. But now, we know that family history plays a powerful role. And knowing your family's past gives you a peaceful kind of power to watch, to notice, and to care for yourself just a bit more tenderly. Then there's salt. Not the kind you add with a dramatic flourish onto roast potatoes, but the hidden kind. The kind tucked quietly into processed foods, in soups, sauces, canned goods. Over time, too much sodium can hold onto water in your body, and that extra fluid increases pressure in your blood vessels. It's sneaky, really. Because it's not about the salt shaker. It's about the slow, steady intake from places you don't always expect. And while we're here, let's gently mention another quiet guest in this story: stress. Not the dramatic kind. Not shouting in traffic stress. But the low, humming, ever-present kind. Worrying about loved ones. Wondering about money. Feeling unsure about health, even if you don't say it out loud. Chronic stress can tighten the body like a clenched fist. Muscles hold tension. Breathing gets shallow. And the heart, trying to help, works just a bit harder. Over time, that slow strain contributes to higher pressure. Sometimes the causes are even smaller than that: changes in medication, missing your morning pill, sleeping poorly for a few nights in a row. And then there are conditions like kidney disease or thyroid imbalance, which can quietly raise your blood pressure, too. But here's something comforting, a tip that not everyone knows. Simply keeping a blood pressure log, even just a few times a week, can help you and your doctor notice patterns long before symptoms appear. You don't need fancy equipment. A home monitor. A small notebook. A pen. That's all. Write down the numbers and how you're feeling. Over time, these gentle notes tell a very important story. You might be wondering, is this really something I'd feel? Wouldn't I know if something was wrong? That's one of the most common health questions people ask. And the honest answer is, sometimes you don't. That's why it's often called the silent condition. But you might notice little things: a subtle headache, feeling unusually tired, shortness of breath on days when you didn't expect it. Nothing that rings alarm bells. But maybe, just maybe, your body trying to nudge you gently. There are also lifestyle causes, habits that once felt harmless, but over time, shift the balance. Smoking, even if it was years ago, changes the lining of your blood vessels. Inactivity, sitting for long periods, weakens the muscles that support your heart. Even poor sleep, the kind where you wake up groggy and not quite refreshed, can quietly nudge your blood pressure upward. And let's not forget about dehydration. A lesser-known but very real factor, especially in later life. As you age, your sense of thirst often dulls. You may not feel thirsty, but your body still needs hydration. Without enough fluids, your blood can become a little thicker, harder to push through your veins, leading to an increase in pressure. A simple glass of water, sipped slowly throughout the day, can make a quiet but meaningful difference. Of course, everyone's story is a little different. Some people feel fine at 160/90. Others feel dizzy at 130/80. That's why your numbers are just one part of the picture. Your energy, your breath, your sleep, your mood, they all speak, in their own way. And listening to all those parts, gently, without fear, can help you catch something early, long before it becomes a problem. Remember that moment we talked about earlier? Sitting in the pharmacy, looking at the numbers, trying to guess if they're good or bad. That moment doesn't have to feel mysterious. With a little bit of awareness, you can understand what's going on inside your body even when it doesn't send you loud signals. So tonight, as your eyes get heavier and your thoughts begin to drift, just hold this thought gently. Your body is always speaking to you. Sometimes in bold headlines, but more often in soft whispers. A sigh. A slower step. A restless night. And those whispers are worth listening to. Not because they signal something scary, but because they're part of you. And you are worth caring for. As you lie there now, perhaps your breathing has deepened a little. Maybe the rhythm of your chest rising and falling has settled into something slower, something more still. That's good. That's how this next part works best, when you're calm, open, and softly aware. Because now we move from understanding to gentle action. From worry to care. From confusion to clarity. High blood pressure may begin silently, but managing it doesn't have to feel like a mystery. It doesn't have to be a grand overhaul. Often, the most meaningful changes are the smallest, done regularly, with kindness. One well-established health fact is this: lifestyle choices, what you eat, how you move, how you rest, can significantly affect your blood pressure, even without medication. And for many older adults, a few simple changes can ease the load on the heart in ways that feel manageable and, most importantly, empowering. Start here with something familiar, your plate. Imagine it right now. What does it usually hold? Breakfast might be toast and jam, or oatmeal and fruit. Lunch, perhaps soup and a sandwich. Dinner, a warm casserole or something simple from the freezer. Nothing fancy, just routine. And that's exactly where change can quietly happen. Try this comforting insight: reducing sodium doesn't mean bland meals. Herbs, lemon juice, garlic, vinegar, these are gentle, flavorful tools that don't spike your pressure. Swap out canned soup for a homemade version with fewer ingredients. Use fresh vegetables where you can. A dash of spice in place of salt. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just a little different. Little by little. Then there's potassium, a mineral many people overlook. It helps balance the sodium in your body. Foods like bananas, sweet potatoes, and cooked spinach are gentle allies in your journey. They're not miracle cures, but they work quietly in the background, easing tension inside your blood vessels. You don't need a diet plan, just a little curiosity. Maybe tomorrow, try a banana instead of a muffin. Or swap white bread for whole grain. Your body notices, even if you don't feel it right away. Now, movement. Ah yes. That topic. The one that stirs a bit of reluctance, especially when your knees ache or your energy dips by afternoon. But here's the thing: you don't need a gym. You don't need to break a sweat. You just need to move in a way that feels gentle and doable. A slow walk around the block. Stretching during your favorite program. Marching your feet under the table while you sip tea. These movements tell your heart, I'm with you. I'm helping. Even light housework counts. Sweeping. Folding. Gardening. It's not about burning calories, it's about encouraging circulation, reminding your body how to stay fluid, how to let go of tightness. There's also a little trick that's both calming and surprisingly helpful: deep breathing. That's right, just breathing. Slowly. Fully. From the belly. You might do this when you wake up. Or while waiting for the kettle to boil. Inhale through your nose. Count to 4. Hold gently for a moment. Then exhale through your mouth, longer than the inhale. This slows your heart, eases tension, and over time, can help bring your blood pressure down. It's simple, and it's yours anytime you need it. And here's a lesser-known but incredibly comforting tip: warming your hands can lower your blood pressure. Yes, truly. Soak your hands in warm water. Hold a mug of tea. Use a heating pad on your wrists. Warmth dilates blood vessels and encourages a sense of safety in the body. It's not magic, but it's lovely. And sometimes that's enough. You might be asking, but when should I see a doctor? That's a good and common question, one many people wonder about silently. The answer: sooner than you think, but not because something's wrong. Rather, Because partnership with a provider gives you options, clarity, and reassurance. Regular check-ins help catch changes early. Even if you feel fine. Especially if you feel fine. Medication can be part of this story, too. And if it is, it's not a failure. It's not a sign of weakness. It's simply a tool. Some people take one pill in the morning and carry on. Others try a few before finding the right one. If you ever feel side effects, dizziness, fatigue, lightheadedness, speak up. There are many types, and they can be adjusted to suit your rhythm. Another gentle idea is to create a blood pressure corner in your home. Just a quiet spot where you keep your cuff, a small notebook, maybe even a calendar. This small ritual helps make tracking feel less like a chore and more like a habit. Think of it as your health's little nesting place. Somewhere peaceful and regular. And if you like technology, some blood pressure monitors sync with your phone. They give little graphs, trends, reminders. But if tech isn't your thing, that's okay too. A pen and paper work just as well. What matters most is consistency, checking at the same time each day, ideally when you're relaxed. Not right after climbing stairs. Not in a flurry of errands. Just calm, still moments. Let's talk briefly about rest. Sleep, in particular. Because when your body doesn't get enough deep, restoring sleep, it holds tension longer. Muscles don't fully relax. Hormones fluctuate. And blood pressure rises quietly. So tonight, and every night you can, treat sleep like medicine. Soothing, gentle, and necessary. Try dimming lights an hour before bed. Avoid news or emails just before sleep. Consider soft sounds, a fan, a podcast, even this channel, to lull your nervous system into rest mode. These aren't luxuries. They're small acts of care. Your heart, quite literally, will thank you. And what about hydration? Remember earlier, we touched on how easy it is to forget to drink enough. Try keeping a glass near your favorite seat. Or having a small jug by the bed. You don't need liters, just regular sips. Especially if you're on medications that flush fluids. Listen to your body's quiet requests. A dry mouth, a tiny headache, a sense of sluggishness. These are all gentle nudges. Lastly, surround yourself with support. This doesn't mean you need a crowd. One friend. One neighbor. A call to a loved one. Or even a note in the comments below this video, just sharing how you feel. That counts. That matters. Because when you speak your concerns out loud, even softly, they shrink. They become manageable. And you begin to feel in control again. So many people carry quiet concerns. They wonder, in silence, if a flutter in their chest means something. Or if the dizziness they feel standing up is just age or something else. Know this. You're not alone. Many others are right there with you, asking the same questions, feeling the same feelings. And each small action, each glass of water, each deep breath, each conversation adds up. They gently, steadily help you stay well. They make a difference, even if you don't notice it right away. So breathe. Soften your shoulders. Know that managing high blood pressure isn't about perfection. It's about awareness, patience, and small daily kindnesses to yourself. The room is quiet now. Just the soft hum of the fan, maybe the low creak of the house settling in for the night. You're still here, comfortably settled, wrapped in a warmth of understanding you didn't know you needed. You've walked gently through a topic that so many fear. But here, it unfolded like a whisper, like a bedtime story made just for you. And in a way, that's exactly what this is. You might be thinking back to what we've shared tonight. Perhaps you're remembering that high blood pressure often gives no early warning. No shout, no sting. Just a quiet build-up. The kind of thing that only asks for your attention in stillness when you listen inward, just a little more closely. You now know that this isn't your fault. It isn't a sign of weakness or poor choices. It's something that happens, often quietly, as bodies grow older. As arteries stiffen. As stress lingers longer. As habits, small and harmless on their own, compound over time. And tonight, perhaps for the first time, that knowledge doesn't feel heavy. It feels clear. You've heard how a slow morning walk, or a handful of berries, or even the act of warming your hands with a mug of tea, can change something within you. Not all at once. But over time, like water smoothing stone. It's easy to think that health needs urgency. A plan. A countdown. A rush to fix. But here on Margaret Radio, we honor a different pace. One that listens before it speaks. One that lets questions stay unanswered for a little while longer, without panic. One that reminds you that sometimes, the best care begins with rest. Yes, rest. Like now. Like this. As your eyes get heavier, you might notice your breath again. How it comes and goes, as steady as waves on a soft shore. There's nothing to do right now. No charts. No cuffs. No lists. Just you, and a sense of quiet knowing. That you are capable. That you are cared for. That you have more tools now than you did an hour ago. And here's a thought to hold as you drift: not all signs are loud. Some speak only when we slow down enough to hear them. Like that moment when you feel your heart beating a little stronger. Or when you realize your evening walk no longer tires you the way it once did. These are signs, too. Of healing. Of balance. Of quiet strength. You don't have to do everything. Just something. One thing tomorrow. One tiny change. A pinch less salt. A little more water. A laugh shared with someone who makes you feel seen. Because sometimes, health is not about grand changes, but about returning to yourself. And that return begins here. Let your body soften. Let your thoughts unfurl. Let yourself believe that small things, done gently and with love, are enough. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. Let the night hold you now. Let your bed be a place of softness, not of worry. Let your breath remind you of your resilience. Let your heartbeat, steady and quiet, carry you into dreams. You've done enough for today. You're already healing, simply by choosing to understand. And as the last words of this gentle evening settle in your ears, remember that you're never alone. Not here. Not now. Not as long as this voice, this space, and this moment remain. Tomorrow is waiting, quietly, just beyond sleep. Let go. Fade gently. You're safe. You're held. You're loved.